What's up, Game Spotters? This is Aaron Sampson.
And Ryan Schubert.
And we're here to ask you the question, are you combat effective in Armored Kill? So you're going on a camping trip in Armored Kill. What should you pack?
Well, if you're an engineer, you want to pack a tank, a torch, and a tow rocket. And that's pretty much what 90% of people are going to be doing anyway.
Yep, that's pretty much what 90% of everyone else will do. Yeah, but enough about boring old stuffy engineers. What if you want to be support?
Well, you could pack your mortar tube if you want to die horribly.
Yep, if you want to die horribly. Whatever happened to that mortar tube? You could pack your C4, but let's be honest, ever since some lowly first class earned his proximity scan, that's been a little lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there, because that's what I wrote in the script, but then I got in this morning with the quad bike. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, C4 is still a lot of fun. Quad bike! Combat effective. Oh, and I put C4 on the scout helicopter just because I could. And oh, but it gets better. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, it survived. It survived.
The chopper survived?
Because there was somebody else in it.
Oh, right. Of course.
It was in regular core. Oh, come pick me up.
You know, that is the tactic we don't talk about very often.
Okay, back to the guide.
You can also hand over your ammo to a javelineer.
Yeah, but have you ever heard of something called smoke?
Yeah, the IR smoke.
I guess
Pretty much makes the javelin useless.
you could hand your ammo over to somebody with an igla, which is probably a bit more effective.
That would be more helpful. Unless, of course, it's just tank superiority.
But no, if you're not going to be engineer, I'd say roll as Recon.
Yeah, the Recon finally has a shot here.
But you know, life can be tough for Recon. So we set out to answer some popular questions you might have about this class, like, can tanks spot you more easily with higher powered scopes? What should you wear to hide from the gunship? How do you destroy enemy SOFLAMs and spawn beacons?
And don't forget to pack your maintenance unlock because, hey, Recons have their tank licenses too.
Yeah, that maintenance unlock is super important. Like, if you take a hit from a tow missile and go down to 48 health, in about 20 seconds if you take cover, your tank will have full health again instead of burning horribly to death. The first question we asked ourselves is, there's a lot of armor around and you really don't want to get their attention, so what power scope should I bring out with me on the battlefield?
Right now, we're under the impression that depending on the power of the scope, scope glint is increased.
Yeah, more glint, higher power scope. So right now we're looking, the gentleman on the rocks has a 12 times scope. The gentleman up on the crane has a 12 times scope. So we started with that and worked our way down.
Yeah, and look at that. You just stand out so much more on the dark background.
But yeah, it really...
It's sort of not surprising, but look how hard it is to see up there.
That's a 12 times scope against sky. Really seems like the background is what matters more than anything. And also when you stood up, the scope became a lot more apparent.
It definitely also seemed like there was something to do with prone.
So we went ahead and took it down one notch to the 8 times scope.
Yeah, let's go down to 8 times.
I couldn't even see you on the crane there when I wasn't scoped in, but you can still clearly see my 12 times. Yeah, you're prone.
That's about the same, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really notice a difference. I mean, as you can see, when you're not scoped in, you're pretty invisible up there. Especially if you're prone. But you know, I honestly didn't notice much of a difference between the 12 and the 8.
I didn't either. I was expecting, there was a lot of talk, on the forums for a while that it made a difference, but I can't see it.
Let's go down to 7. So
there's your 12X still shining like a flashlight.
Bright, shiny beacon of brightness.
And that 7X is still...
pretty much looks exactly the same as the 12 to me.
It doesn't look any different.
It had, honestly, it had more to do with you standing.
Yeah. So, yeah, it definitely seemed like there was something about prone and then being sort of in proximity to objects.
So I'm going to show you here, actually, that we did a bush test, because I've definitely noticed people didn't notice me when I was hiding behind bushes before. We wanted to answer the question, can you be seen? So there I am going down behind the bush with a 7 times. And
I see no glint.
Yeah, glint's totally gone, but I can definitely see you through the keyhole. And there it is. So confirmed. Grab some bush.
You can hide in the bush.
So what did we conclude from this experiment? From science?
Well, I'd say our science has shown that really the scope choice should be based on what distance you expect to be engaging at.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pleasant answer was at least, I think we're around 240 meters, 260 meters.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
Pack whatever scope you like. Honestly, they all look exactly the same from that range.
Yeah, whatever you feel is your scope.
Really had to do more with minding your background and being prone. And, if you hide in a bush, people can't see you. So the next question that you might have is, gee, how do I hide from that giant angel of death floating in the sky known as the Gunship?
Oh, that horrible AC-130.
So, it's interesting. We remember previously Spec Ops camo had some infrared camouflage benefit.
That's what the scuttlebutt was.
So there I am with the regular premium, just some premium clothing, and I am standing out. You are using a night sight. It's a thermal night sights.
Yeah.
Or we can get into a knife fight.
We could have a little knife fight.
Let's have a knife fight.
We like to get stabby around here. Oh.
Oh. I hit my head.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
It wasn't the knife that killed me.
There we go.
It was the fall.
Double tap.
So here we go. You are wearing Spec Ops camo. At a distance. I think it was more that you were facing to the left. Because look, as you get closer, yep, no difference.
Oh yeah, as soon as I get up on you, it's bright as day.
Yeah, so the answer is wear whatever clothing you like, because honestly, it doesn't make a difference.
Yep, it's just fashion.
It's really not going to help you hide from the Gunship. Or other players. Okay, so here we go. From the Gunship's main gun, I actually could not see you in the desert. It had more to do with the 3D spotting than anything.
So sort of like with the scope glint, your background is important.
Yeah, that's what we found out here. When you're in the desert...
Like out there on the hot desert sand, you're kind of invisible to the Gunship.
To the thermal side, at least, on the Gunship.
Yes. And, if you're spotted, you're spotted.
So that would probably prod players towards hardcore, I guess. I mean, Recon is... It's much more friendly for Recon and hardcore anyway.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in hardcore, you're basically invisible. Unless you're doing like I'm doing there, taking pot shots at the plane.
But I mean, that's the only reason that I knew where you were, is because you were shooting at me. Honestly, I couldn't see you, even on the regular visual scope. It was hard to spot somebody in the desert.
Yeah, you basically need to look for your targets on the darker rock, the colder rock, I guess it would be.
Now, it was easier to spot you against these backgrounds, like a road, dark road.
Once I'm on the road, pretty easy to spot. Do not grab a dark background, because I nailed so many snipers thinking that they had the best spot on top of a rock.
Yeah, because they're always on the rocks, and that's probably the worst place you can be for the Gunship.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the high ground is the most dangerous place to be if you're up against the Gunship.
Grab a hot background and hold still. So again, it's a lot like the scope. It's more about minding your background.
Yeah. Again, it's exactly.
And also not getting spotted if you can help it.
Yeah, in regular core, that's a little bit of a tall order.
All right, so here's something that I don't know if we knew this and we forgot it, or we just, found this out again recently, rediscovered. So let's say you're playing tank superiority, and this happens a lot. Enemy Recon has an entire half of the map locked down with a sofa.
Yeah.
And the enemy tanks are just using their guided shells and javelins, so engineers using javelins. They're taking out anything on that side of the map. What do you do?
Well, there's one thing you could try. Take out the old MAV.
Oh yeah, the MAV. I forgot about that thing after they made it blow up when you hit people with it.
It used to be so much fun.
Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the MAV can destroy equipment?
Yes, it can.
So here we go. Up, a little left, a little right. Oh, there we go. It actually fired a projectile. Like, did you know the MAV can fire a projectile?
Yeah, it's too bad you can't shoot at other players.
Hey. Oh. It's alright, I'll have my revenge later. Kick me out to my Palm Pilot.
Yeah. And that's good against, I think, anything but Mines.
Ooh, what would I be doing?
You bastard.
But we did confirm actually that patch is still in effect. It still destroys your map now.
Yeah, sometimes it can take more than one hit, though.
So here we go. We took this into an actual round of tank superiority to test out what we had done on a private server. And ran into some trouble up front. So it turns out if you put your SOFLAM out of bounds, I wasn't able to target it.
Yeah, it's cheap, but it's effective.
So, the counter to that is to put your SOFLAM out of bounds. But, I don't know what the range is.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to work mostly on Bandar Desert because of the wide open space. But I don't think you have a very good view from out of bounds on the other maps.
So here, I was up on my map, I was spotting the enemy team, let my team know they were pulling a flank, and I noticed a bunch of guys appearing from this area.
Hey, that's my radio beacon.
Figured out somebody had a radio beacon, and guess what?
That's what happened to that.
Yoink.
Nevertheless, though, if you are Recon and you're playing tank superiority, the spawn beacon is an asset because there's no squad spawning.
Yeah, no squad spawning.
And the only place that you do spawn is in deployment. So if you want to get your guys out anywhere other than...
And there goes the SOFLAM. So don't forget your MAV. Don't forget your MAV. You can destroy enemy SOFLAMs and unlock down the field for your team. Okay, so as we mentioned before, what if you want to drive a tank as Recon? I mean, you got your tank license like everybody else.
I think it's a good idea to take a tank as Recon. I mean, at this point, there's enough armor available that anybody should do it. But with Recon, one of the things you can do is pop your SOFLAM out, put it on a hillside, and it will designate for you.
Yep, you can do over-the-hill targeting by yourself with guided shells. And there it is.
Boom.
Boom. So you don't even have to expose your own tank.
And you get points for the designation and the kill.
Insult to injury. Yeah, so definitely rock that SOFLAM when you're in tanks. But also, like we said before, remember you must use the maintenance perk because you don't have a repair torch.
Yeah, no repairability, definitely want maintenance.
And it's very effective. Like, maintenance is actually very effective. Oddly enough, we found having one or two Recon guys in tank superiority to be great. Because, there are more people than there are tanks. So you're not really being utilized anyway. There's a couple guys who are always floating in this mode.
Yes. And
why not be Recon? Get out there. Get those engineers that are trying to repair their tanks.
There's always going to be engineers looking to repair, and there's also there's other Recon.
Yep. Recon on Recon.
I mean, engineer and Recon are the two most common classes we're seeing out there.
Like we said, use that spawn beacon because you can't squad spawn, so that makes it even more critical, like almost rush-like.
Yes.
Oh, another good tip is that go tow missile first if you come up on somebody. If they're standing still, you can fire the tow missile and then switch to your gun right away. The tow missile will keep flying straight, fire your main gun, and you'll hit a tank twice before they even know what hit them.
Yeah, unless your target's in fast motion, you don't need to guide the tow.
And even better, if they have reactive armor, your tank round will blow off the reactive armor, and then your tow missile will impact the side. So if they're standing still, you can actually double shot them.
Yeah, you've got the advantage of that travel time on the missile.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What do you think, Mr. Ryan Schubert? In conclusion, how do you be combat effective as Recon?
You get that SOFLAM out there when you've got some good wide open spaces. You rock the MAV to take out the equipment and spot enemy targets.
And even better, wear whatever outfit you like and bring whatever scope you like. Doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, just try not to sit on the rocks.
All right, we'll wrap up this guide for combat effective with some tank-on-tank gun barrel on gun barrel action. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you out on the battlefield. Beep, beep, beep.